cool.
It's good.
We can pick bits of this up here and there.
Jesus, this should be a movie.
It's good. It should be.
Seriously. It's amazing when I'm talking to you about it, I think back at it and just thinking of...
Well, just think...
When they call it sliding doors? Is that what
totally.
it is? Like, you know, like...
Well, think about the coincidental moments where it could have all gone wrong.
How many times have you been to see this show?
Today's my 557th time.
They say that sex sells.
But it's also like sex sells that's being zhuzhed a little bit.
It's why we've come here tonight on my birthday to see sexy Australian men, yes.
The guys are so freaking hot and they're really sweet and they give you plenty of attention and they make you feel like a queen.
Billy Cross is an Australian success story, but Billy Cross, Thunder from Down Under, is an American success story.
So what Billy Cross has managed to achieve is one of Australia's greatest ever export entertainment success stories. So good, right? There you go. And what it means is it's not just promoting Billy Cross and their business, but also Australia. Every night, people come and understand a bit more about Australia. Well, this part of it at least anyway. More than 30 million people around the world have seen this show. Just incredible. Where does manpower, where does the stripping start? Who actually convinces you should take your clothes? Why would a good Greek boy take his clothes off?
And that was very, and for a while I had to lie to my mum and not tell her what I did, you know, until manpower started getting in the papers and then on television. She goes, hang on, that's my son doing that, you know.
Billy Cross was once a Westie. He grew up in Liverpool, in Sydney's southwest. Nearly 60 years on, and the old family home has seen better days. Right here, I'm looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
This house right now, it's for sale.
Yeah.
103 Heckenberg Avenue is for sale.
Yeah.
So come on, Bill.
Jesus,
You've
I
got to
know, should I buy it back? Seriously, I'll have to bring my brothers back into it though.
His mum and dad were post-war Greek immigrants. They had 3 kids. Billy was the youngest.
So basically there was my 2 older brothers and the 3 of us used to be in that end bedroom there. And it's...
3 of you in the bedroom?
Yeah, my oldest brother, he had a single bed and me and my middle brother were on the bunks.
No fights?
No. A couple later at night, I was the youngest one, so they used to back down the head, you know.
You imagine this is a migrant family that came to Australia looking for a better life for their family.
Yes.
And ultimately they found it for you, didn't they?
Absolutely. And the thing is with our parents, like my dad, he worked every day and it was all about for his family and the kids. And they gave us, it wasn't ever about money, it was about love. And they gave us that. There was always food on the table. They did everything they could to sort of really give us a better life, you know.
Including changing the family name. It used to be Hadji Stavros, but Dad George changed it to Cross to fit in and find work. And that ended up being with Arnott's Biscuits. What was it when you were a kid that gave us a hint that you had a business brain, that you had a brain for entertainment, and a brain for a big idea?
Yeah.
What was that?
You know what, it's weird when you say entertainment, like I always worked hard. I always did everything I could 110%. And when I was sort of young at school and, you know, I wasn't that great at school. You know, I was good at maths, that was a good thing.
This is where you started work, right?
Yeah, it is.
Billy Cross's work ethic kicked in at an early age.
So this is the first place you really dealt with money and you dealt with people, all that sort of stuff in a place like this, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you can say that, it was really the start of my entrepreneurship, you know what I mean? Like, and what it was too, you'd sort of finish school at 3 and I'd come here and work from 4 till 7. It was, he just, you know, it was great because the community was amazing here too, you know, and just working and getting ahead. Do you want me to serve you?
When he was 14, he'd finish school, then work at the local milk bar.
Everything we had, so like you might go to the supermarket and pick up a can of drink and then the handle breaks, you put it down automatically, well then we get them. Yes. You know, tins are like hit, like damaged on the side.
Oh, wow.
So like this is not, look, there's nothing wrong with this stuff.
Oh,
so,
God, it's amazing.
And the bread. So the bread is a day old, but it's nothing wrong with it. You buy bread, the next day you eat it anyway.
Yeah, of course, no, and for these people, they'll eat it straight away.
Yes.
No longer a milk bar, it's now an outreach centre. It's all donated and it's all free to the local community.
There would be a lot of people here, especially young kids, that work hard and they know what they want in life and they just can't get it here and they have to get out. I think when you're talking about a place like this, which, you know, we call the Valley and the projects, it's just hard to get to that next level. And you can work as hard as you want, you can do whatever, but to get to that next level and become an entrepreneur, you need to get out of here. I just got my P's and I left when I was just turned 17.
What sort of card you had?
At a combi.
You had a combi, no.
Big beat-up combis. And it took me a long time to get to the Goldie. And stopping all the way and then get to the Gold Coast. And it was weird because when I was leaving, my mum, you know, strict Greek mum, wouldn't let her son leave home. I said, Mum, I'm going on a holiday. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Obviously, 40 years later, I'm still here, you know. And it was just, you know, you sort of, it wasn't like I wanted to come to the Gold Coast. I just wanted to get out of Liverpool.
Sun lover land. Clear blue water and fine white sand.
Queensland's Gold Coast, the Goldie. Back in the 80s, it was all sun, surf and headbands. Billy Cross was in his element. He took up the tools and became a tradie.
Being in the construction industry at the time, it wasn't that great, and I was doing odd jobs, and then there was an opportunity to work nights at a club. And the club was called the Penthouse Nightclub, which is in Orchard Avenue. Right. It was an institution back there. They used to have a ladies' night, so I thought, you know what, I've got a bit of a rig on me. I could take my shirt off and serve girls, you know.
Oh, hello, Parsons. I'd like to expose to you one of my best-kept secrets, men.
Girls, if you're celebrating absolutely anything.
So we got a choreography, we got costumes. We created this, you know, all the boys together, we created this Monday night ladies' night out.
Come and see the boys from the all-male dance revue.
So I'm still working the daytime, doing my Monday nights. It went so successful that the guy goes, let's do Friday as well.
Alive and kicking on and off stage.
Billy had a hit on his hands. One night became 5 nights and he took the show on the road.
By then, I've realised this thing's working, this is packed. There was not a show we didn't do that wasn't sold out.
So the people know you in different parts of Australia?
And that's what was great about the Goldie, because the girls coming to the Gold Coast, they were from interstate. So when we go to their cities, they would know the show.
And they bring their mates.
And they bring their mates, they bring their mum, they bring their grandma, you know what I mean? And it was always so solid. And then after that, we thought, OK, you know, we used to call ourselves, because the nightclub was called the Penthouse Nightclub, so we call ourselves the Penthouse Male Revue. I'm thinking in my head, it's not strong enough. Where do we go to the next level? How do we make this a brand? How do we start spending money on like posters and videos or whatever? So, same again, come up with an idea. What's strong? Manpower. Let's call it manpower.
About 20 minutes we're going on stage to a packed audience of about 300 girls, 400 girls.
Jackie, tell me the day you met Billy.
Oh, the day I met Billy. I mean, I can remember it so vividly. I was working for Clio magazine and my editor at the time was Lisa Wilkinson.
Research reveals that 77% of Australian women prefer to make love in the dark.
Clio was a women's magazine, famous for its male centrefolds and sealed sections.
Just one of the surprising results of the survey, love, sex and the dieting woman.
We'd done a story on Manpower Australia and we'd been invited to a show.
And I've said to Lisa, bring the girls to the show, come and see what it's all about.
So Lisa had, I don't know, somehow wrangled all of us to go to Manly League's club, of all places. against my will, to be honest, to see a show.
Lisa's gone, come on girls, we're going to Manly Leagues to see Manpower Australia. And she goes, I'm not freaking going to see strippers, you know.
And we were just like, I guess, so impressed with what we saw, you know, as
What were you impressed by?
just, I mean, there were 600 women just like screaming at these like 6 guys up on stage.
At the end of the show, I've gone up to Lisa and I showed all the girls there. And I've gone, who's this little Greek girl in the corner? You know.
Afterwards, we went up and said hi and had a photo for the editor's column, actually, for the following month. And as we went up, Billy sort of introduced himself to us, and he was just that, you know, charming Billy that he still is today. And yeah, I was like very impressed, but I wasn't letting on too much. I didn't let on too much. I think he was kind of used to everybody just, you know, it was the Billy way, and I was gonna, yeah, I was sort of like, yeah, this is nice, and not that interested. And then, yeah, we kind of like, he pursued me a little bit. You know, I think he wasn't used to being, not, you know, but he was used to being Billy, and yeah, he pursued me, and then the rest is history.
And to be honest with you, today, you know, she's my right-hand man, and a lot of the success of, you know, Australia and internationally is a lot because of her. I spent a lot of money on putting together a documentary. And this was pretty amazing. I don't call it luck, because I always say the harder you work, the luckier you get. We put together this documentary, 1 hour documentary on Manpower.
I'm trying to say this nice.
Billy is a wild man of Manpower. He's a really good guy. He's great fun, but because he's the manager and the owner of the group, he's also under a lot of stress.
In the early 90s, Billy Cross put his money where his mouth was. He made a documentary about Manpower and found a home for it on primetime TV.
And they played it on a Sunday night at 7:30 up against 60 Minutes.
Guys, be really quiet. Let's do it. Manpower camp.
That brings back bad memories. Let's go. What was your name? I want to take it. Yeah, Manpower camp. Get down. Billy in the Raw like you've never seen before.
We got a show on the primetime network up against probably the biggest show in Australia back in the days, and it took us to another level in Australia.
Yeah.
Don't be getting this. Not supposed to be saying this.
The show was a hit. Manpower was now mainstream.
That is amazing crowd. Oh, man. I was just screaming. I'm saying screaming.
So in other words, people like seeing blokes getting their kid off.
Yeah.
And women in particular, they were your audience.
Yeah, back in those days, it was strictly 100% women. And the fan base and the way we worked with our crowd and what they loved about us, these were just normal Aussie guys. Like the Jamie Dewars and all that, they were just normal. Yeah. When they call about the boy next door, that's what we were.
If success breeds success, then the original Manpower is proof positive. One of its original dancers was Jamie Dewars.
Jamie, he's the character of the group. Jay, as we call him, he's really mischievous. He's always doing crazy things.
The Phantom of the Upper Rise here.
I feel like I've just got home.
We weren't pretentious dancers, we weren't models, we were just normal guys. Of course, you know, we trained and we, you know, that was our job. We trained, we looked good.
Biggest credential for a Manpower guy is personality and good looks.
Back in those days, solariums were gonna get brown, you know, but we took our job seriously, and we had a team of boys that were so committed.
The girls, when they see us on stage, they feel like, you know, we're more approachable, like we're not like a barrier.
And then from then on, the nightclub on the Gold Coast had gone. We'd outgrown that. We would do Australian tours twice a year, and the money was rolling in.
Billy, I've got Jane from Publicity on the line. She just wants one word to describe Manpower.
The Boys Next Door was certainly on a roll. Next came the manpower calendars. That also became a doco.
I got my boots. Dusty. I got my chaps on. I forgot my jeans though. I wanted it sort of like a real, sort of a jackaroo feel about it, you know? And I wanted to sort of get a lot of red dirt and get sort of dusty and dirty and make it, you know, just give a more of a sort of a rugged feel with it, you know, rather than just the normal pretty boy stuff, you know?
Is it the classic that sex sells? Is that what it's about?
I guess, yeah, sex sells.
Just go down in the water and pull your jocks down. There, they're below water level now. Yeah.
Cold. It was cold in that water, I'll tell you.
To stay relevant 3 decades later hasn't really just been an easy thing. It's been a considered decision to make sure that we stay relevant or that the show has stayed relevant. But yeah, I mean, it goes back to people just want to have a great time. And if you can deliver an experience that's fantastic, then you're on a winner.
So I've made all this money in Australia and I've gone, okay, it's time to expand overseas. So I was probably a little bit cocky then, a little bit too confident and cocky. I've gone, we're going to London. We're booking the Astoria Theatre in Charing Cross Road. You know, the week before that, in excess there, and I've gone, how good is this? I'm there, Manpower Australia, in Charing Cross Road, the Astoria Theatre. I think it was 2,000 capacity. First week, we were lucky to get 30 girls a show.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What happened, do you think? Where did you get it wrong?
I've gone over there thinking in my head, it'll just roll over there. Well, the English people didn't know who the shit we were, you know what I mean? And it just was, and it was quite sort of, I shouldn't say humbling, depressing at the time. And I remember I rang Jackie, I said, come over. I said, I'm gone here now, I'm depressed, I've lost everything. So I rolled the dice and started from scratch again, building the money up. And then I thought to myself, you know what, let's go to New Zealand. Let's go to Canada.
But Canada would also be a costly mistake for Billy Cross.
So then we've gone to Canada, done a great tour there. Wasn't as big, but it got us over there and got us.
But hang on, problems happened in Canada, didn't they?
Yeah.
On it there.
Remember those manpower calendars? Well, they were selling like hotcakes. So Billy sent a bunch over to help promote the tour.
I don't know whether this moment was probably that kid from Liverpool, or whether it was probably uneducated, or whether it was probably still a bit cocky, still a young, early 20s kid, you know, making it big on the international scene. So I'd done a deal with a calendar distributor over there.
So what did he do to you?
So basically I sent him over 50,000 calendars. Yeah, at the time he owed me $75,000. Yeah. And he'd sold out every calendar, distributed all through agencies, sold out. And he kept saying, yeah, it's going to get paid, it's going to get paid. So anyway, 3-4 months go by, he's not paying. So then I'm in Canada, and I'm near him, and I rang him, I said, mate, you've got to pay your bill. You owe me the money. He goes, off, I'm not paying you. Go off, bang.
What happened next would land Billy in jail.
I obviously, I said to you, maybe he was being brought up in Liverpool, maybe it was the Greek blood in me. I've just gone in a rage. So I've gone to his office.
By yourself?
With the boys.
With the boys?
Yeah, a couple of them came in, a couple of them stayed outside. And I've just gone mental, and I've screamed, and I said, what are you doing?
What else did you do?
Gave him a bit of a 1-2. I've gone to the show that night. Basically, end of the show, 2 police officers come into the show. You, Billy Cross, you're under arrest. Hands behind my back. I'm screaming, I'm crying. The boys don't even know where I am. Lucky one of the boys came out while I was getting put into the van. Drove me to Toronto, went into overnight shell. I was frigging crying, freaking out, going, what have you done? You've worked all your life to get to where you are. You've made one bad mistake and you're ready to lose everything.
Billy Cross copped a fine and was banned from coming back to Canada for 5 years. As for the money for those calendars, not a single dime.
It really taught me how to move forward. And I feel like when they talk about lessons in life, that was my best life lessons I ever had. You know, the potential is I could have been in jail.
Yeah.
And when you look at that, I remember standing up there and the judge sort of just, you know, and I was looking around going, how did I get here?
Here is the Thunder from Down Under, Manpower, Australia.
And I've gone,
The more noise you make, the quicker the clothes come off. Let's go!
Something about the Aussie guys that the American women just take to.
It is the show that you can take your mum, your grandma to, and not feel uncomfortable.
What are you expecting out of this show tonight?
A lot of good-looking guys that don't look like me.
It's amazing, like, how things went from the worst day of my life to a week later, the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Within days of belting a bloke over a bad debt and ending up in jail, then being kicked out of Canada, Billy Cross was thrown a lifeline.
So in that time in Australia, I was sending out the old VHS tapes of the documentary we had, and I was sending them to, because I'm thinking to myself, how do I break into the US market? And I sent it to 10 of the biggest TV shows in America. One of them was Phil Donahue.
Oh, who was massive, right?
Now, back in those days, he was bigger than Oprah. Then I get this call, I swear to you, like 4 days later. Hey, it's the producer from the Phil Donahue Show. We love what you're doing. We love your show. It's all about female empowerment. We want to fly you to New York and we want to do a whole episode on Manpower Australia. He's got an audience of female having hens nights, where they call them bachelorettes in America. And we're doing a whole hour episode on Manpower Australia.
On Australia Day 1993, Manpower appeared on the highly popular Phil Donahue Show. They were a hit.
Billy Cross, you're a surfer from Paradise, Australia.
Surfer's Paradise, that's the state we're from.
Oh, I see. Surfer's Paradise. So there's a theme to all your work. So
It has characters like Crocodile Dundee, Mad Max, the man from Snow River. We go back into a journey. We're like cultural ambassadors, you can say.
So the opening line, Phil Donahue goes, "Welcome on stage, Manpower Australia, the Thunder from Down Under." And I've gone, bopping.
Here is the Thunder from Down Under, Manpower, Australia.
Trademark. And that was it.
And that was it.
Phil Donahue is responsible for us being called Thunder from Down Under.
Strip. We were driving, actually me and Jay went down the strip, and we were driving down the strip, and the casinos, the lights, it's what you see on television, it's just more true, you know, more to life when you see it, you know, you're in there like in real life. Nothing like it in the world.
Thunder from Down Under were on a roll. They soon landed themselves a gig at the Stardust Casino.
It was pretty surreal because I remember sitting there with the boys and they had this big billboard. And it was always, one of the dreams was about having a billboard, because Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world. And as an entertainer and having an entertaining show, that's your goal. You want to be there. And basically I remember driving in there with the boys. We hired a U-Haul van because we had all the costumes in the U-Haul, and we parked it next to the billboard. We all stood on the U-Haul and we took a photo, you know.
Adam, what sort of a state was Billy in when you first met him?
He was a mess. I'm just kidding.
Adam Steck is a Las Vegas producer. He's been part of Billy's American journey from the very beginning.
I saw an opportunity to bring the show to Las Vegas, and because there's nothing for ladies here. Everything was for men. It was like all topless clubs and topless shows, and there was nothing, it was all for men, nothing for women. So I said, Billy, this show is so brilliant, it should be in Vegas full time, and he'd always wanted to do that. So that's when we got together and partnered, and we found a room, and the next thing you know, it's history.
An important part of that history is moving on from the Stardust Casino and eventually ending up at the Excalibur Hotel and Casino.
So, Billy, Las Vegas Strip, you're in Excalibur, which is right here with us. Explain what's around here.
So basically, this is Excalibur, the castle. It's been here for nearly 30 years. Around here is all MGM property. So you've got the Luxor on that side, Mandalay Bay. Towards this side, you've got New York, the MGM, Park MGM, and the Aria. It's nearly 24,000 rooms. So for us, being in the centre, not even, what is that, 300 metres diameter, that we've got access to 24,000 rooms.
So being in this property, why is that so important for your product? What's important about that?
So the Excalibur, it really has a strong appeal to middle America, and they have a high disposable income. And the casino is, the hotel rooms are pretty much booked out, 92% capacity every night. And that, for us, it gives us a better pool to pull from a crowd in. And it's our market. It's, they come and enjoy the show. They have the high disposable dollar. It's pretty amazing.
Just think about it. Surrounded by 24,000 hotel rooms and with 50 million people visiting Vegas every year, Billy's business empire was sitting on a gold mine. So, little wonder that he had to hang up his thong in 1997.
It was to the point where I was being wasted as a performer, where I needed to put the business hat on and need to be more on the business side. And I did what I did, dancing in the show. And it was hard. Like, I was dancing at night and working in the daytime. Like, when the boys are in the gym or whatever, I'm on the phone booking venues, organising publicity, doing, booking the Taragos and the flights and whatever. So it was too much for me doing the nighttime as well.
It's her 21st birthday!
With or without Billy Cross, they've been queuing up to see Thunder from Down Under for 22 years now. All here for the same reason.
To see some skin.
The more noise you make, the quicker the clothes come off. Let's go!
Do you find it hard to explain to people in Australia what you do and how big this is?
It's hard to let them know exactly what it's like when you come, because I think when you think male strippers in Australia, there's a different image, a different connotation that goes along with it. But you come here and it's like almost a family-friendly show. It's fun, it's a party atmosphere. It feels very different to what people think, so it can be hard to explain.
So, what's your name?
Bob.
Bob, why are you here?
Because she wants to be here.
What are you expecting out of this show tonight?
A lot of good-looking guys that don't look like me.
America's always been infatuated with Australia. We love Australia. I mean, I grew up as a kid and Olivia Newton-John. I mean, she was our first introduction of something Australian and beautiful and sweet. And so, everybody just likes Aussies. And there's something about the Aussie guys that the American women just take to. They're just, down to earth, they're cool, they're very rough and tumble, and, I just think the way that Billy put this show together is brilliant.
What about the energy in the room?
Amazing. It's so good because I'm a Reiki master, so I feed off of the energy and I just love it. And I'm a single mom and, hey.
Make no mistake, this operation is more brain than brawn. What happens behind the scenes is what makes it a cash cow up front.
Americans especially have an infatuation with Australians. And being Australian was like, was back in the Crocodile Dundee days, I always remember our guys were at the show and their Aussie accent would always be a little bit stronger than what it usually is. You go, mate, But we had this product of a strip show that wasn't like the Chippendales per se and all the other shows. Even today, you know, years later, we still only have Aussies in the show and a couple of token Kiwis as well, that's right. Which we claim as Aussies, you know. And, you know, the product of the show and the quality of the show and the production is still the same concept today. Of course, it's thousands and thousands of dollars more invested now, but the quality of the show and the concept of the show is still the same as it was back in the 90s.
The gatekeepers into this all-Aussie gig are Billy and Jackie Cross.
You don't have to. Yeah, it slows down.
To this day, they're very hands-on about who makes the cut.
I have most of the say, I guess. I think that Billy really trusts me. Billy and Maddie and the team in Vegas really trust my kind of judgment. I think first impressions count, especially with a show like this. We're seeing, you know, big crowds every night. You get one opportunity to make an impression. So that first impression they make on me is normally the one that's kind of quite telling. So yeah, I get to, I mean, I've probably got a great job, haven't I? I get to I get to pick these guys.
I guess you're kind of more the demographic of the audience, right?
I'm definitely demographic, you know, middle-aged woman looking to let my hair down. Yeah, I don't know, I just feel like my experience in being able to pick them has been a little bit more, a bit better than Billy's. Billy goes with the emotional, you know, but I'm able to separate that.
We on buff. Yeah, we saucy, ain't no fluff. We on buff.
With 13 shows a week, 28 full-time dancers are needed.
What's the secret to finding one of these dancers?
The big thing that we can't teach is attitude. You know, the guys have to be able to get along well with people. They have to have mixed with people of all ages and different backgrounds. They have to be able to operate in a team environment. So what we're really looking for is just a good Aussie bloke with a really humble attitude that's happy and has got a positive energy.
In fact, most of the men who end up on stage have no dancing experience.
I was a builder. Yeah, carpenter. I'd been a carpenter since I was about 14 years old. Started with my old man and traded in the nail boat for a thong.
So before I came over here, I had a painting and decorating business. So it's a bit of a change going from being in the trade to dancing on the stage in front of like thousands of women.
Our Thunder motto is turn skeptics into fans and fans into friends. So I guess we try to really connect with our audience and make them feel like we're all a big family when they're in the showroom, you know what I mean? And not to say like the show's got so much energy and so much passion into it. The guys love their job. They love that everyone, again, they're not dancers, but they are performers, you know, and there's a difference in that.
So, okay, so bottom line though, does sex sell?
Yeah, I would say so. If history's proven anything, sex sells.
We on buff. Yeah, we saucy, ain't no fluff. We on buff.
For Billy and Jackie Cross, it's been a no-brainer. Boys getting their kid off and the girls loving it.
Tell me about the guys in there.
Well, they're hot.
Tell me these days, why is it that women taking off their clothes appears to be politically incorrect, but men taking off their clothes seems cool and sort of like a pretty good thing to go and have a look at?
Look, I don't know if the stigma it's never been the same, you know, and this is, I'm not sure why. I mean, Thunder really is a fully choreographed stage show. And like I often say, it is the show that you can take your mum, your grandma to and feel, you know, not feel uncomfortable. And I think it comes down, why is it different? I can't answer it. I'm just glad that it is.
They also take the show on the road. Thunder from Down Under is on tour for 40 weeks a year, both in the US and overseas. Now Billy Cross has his sights set on another goal.
One of the biggest expansions for us next year is Nashville.
So you go to Nashville?
We go to Nashville.
Why would you go to Nashville?
Nashville now is the #1 bachelorette city, hens night city in America. And it's basically Vegas without the gaming. And we're looking at what's the growth in America. America's our place. That's really where we make the money. And somewhere like Nashville has so much growth about it. One of the fastest growing cities in America. You know, the entertainment side of it is huge. So for us, that's our growth in where our next place is going to be.
After more than 20 years on the Vegas Strip, Billy and his dancing troupe were recently handed the keys to the city.
To be given the keys to the Las Vegas Strip and we pinch ourselves. It's unbelievable. In fact, I've got it right here.
Show me that.
Let me show you real quick.
So this is the key to the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to be able to accept this on behalf of the show in front of the Welcome to Las Vegas sign with the cast of Thunder behind us and the county commissioners giving it to us. It was quite the honor. It's absolutely unbelievable. And
so who else do you imagine would have that key to the Las Vegas Strip?
Not that many entertainers. I mean, you go back, Elvis got the key to the Las Vegas Strip, Frank Sinatra got the key to the Las Vegas Strip, Siegfried and Roy got the key to the Las Vegas Strip, and now Thunder from Down Under. We're in that conversation. When you talk about the great artists and the great shows in Las Vegas, Thunder from Down Under is a part of that conversation. We can pinch ourselves. It's absolutely incredible.
We're talking to Adam the other day about even getting the key to the city.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an incredible thing to imagine that this show has run on this strip for 20 years and most Australians don't know about it.
Yeah, and that, I've always sort of thought about that, and I thought, you know, we do fly under the radar in Australia, you know, and over in America, Thunder Down Under is a household name. You know, the shows that get the key to the city, the shows that have been here over 20 years, and we're one of those shows, and that's an Australian show.
It's pretty amazing, because it's a long way from Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
Is that right to say that?
It is a long way from Liverpool, you know, when you sort of look back at, you know, where I come from to sort of having one of the biggest shows in Las Vegas. It's pretty an amazing achievement.
That's nice. When they say, you know, there's a great man, there's a greater woman behind the man, it's Jackie Cross.
Let's not go there, mate.
You can answer that.
Okay, chin high for me.
You sort of sit down and you go, I'm bulletproof. I'm feeling great.
When Billy had his heart attack, I guess that was a turning point.
Oh, it's getting a bit weird here now.
That's nice.
Billy and Jackie. Jackie and Billy.
One more.
Whichever way you look at them, these two have truly found the secret to success. Which begs the question, who's the boss?
Let's not go there, mate.
They're in the buildings. I like my job. I'm going to keep it as it is.
We know it's Jackie, right?
Jackie is when they say, you know, there's a great man, there's a greater woman behind the man, it's Jackie Cross. She's a dynamo. She's absolutely incredible. She keeps the authenticity of the brand, you know, to keep it authentically Australian, because that's what sold the show in the beginning, and she makes sure from the social media, from the, you know, from the photo shoots that she does, the calendar, the content that she does, you know, she keeps it authentic. So it's just a really great balance.
Jackie and Billy married in 1997, and they've been running the business together ever since.
These are the design packs that I'm going to go through with Liam.
And how do you separate family from business?
That's a work in progress, separating family from business at the moment. It's new territory for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're able to do it. I mean, we live and breathe. Like, we work together. We all work together, we live together. It's a challenge, but we're all up for it, and we're all motivated and excited. I think we all have the same goals. I think that makes it easier.
Home for the couple in the US is a hotel suite high above Las Vegas.
Explain to me how you divide the family life and the business life, given the fact you basically, you know, you're together all the time. So how do you work that out?
You can answer that.
You can answer that. Billy?
Oh, no, you know what it is? What's great with Jackie and I, we work together, we're married to each other, we have a beautiful family together, and we balance that so well. And I think that's really, really good. You know, I suppose the only time we ever argue is on work, because we're obviously both strong, opinionated people. But when it comes to our family, you know, it's unconditional love.
From the Vegas Strip to the Gold Coast, the Crosses truly are global citizens.
So, righto, so the penthouse, where was that?
So basically the penthouse was right there.
Billy Cross has taken us back to the place where it all began. The Penthouse nightclub, which has long since gone.
Different levels of nightlife indulgence.
So this is where you were first convinced to take your clothes off, which was the start of the whole thing.
There's a lot of history there. So basically, I worked there as a topless waiter.
Yeah.
I started the show there, and then 15 years later, I bought the business and started the drink nightclub there. So it's a lot of history.
There's a lot of history there.
1, 2.
In fact, Billy has invested a whole lot of time and money in the Goldie over the years.
So how many clubs did you end up with?
So from that, it was 2 clubs. And then within a 2-year period, I ended up owning 9 nightclubs.
9 nightclubs?
Yeah.
9 nightclubs?
Yeah.
Do you think you got a bit obsessive with the nightclubs?
A little bit.
Yeah, right.
You know what it was? And going back to when I started Manpower, I saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I saw the appetite of people on the Gold Coast wanting to go out. Nowadays, you look at the Gold Coast, people go to Burleigh, they go to Nobbies, they go to the surrounding areas. Back in those days, late 90s, early 2000s, everyone came to Surfers Paradise. Surfers Paradise was the place. So there was opportunities to buy clubs. And what I did is I came up with this idea of every club was the same. What if I kept buying these clubs and creating a different music genre, a different culture, and having them not compete with each other? So I would buy another club, I'd create a rock club. I'd create another club, I'd create an R&B club. I bought a couple of strip clubs, female strip clubs, you know.
How did they go for you?
They were okay.
Yeah, right.
So it wasn't about whether buying a female strip club, it was about having 9 different nightclubs, different marketing, different genre, and pretty much tying up the strip.
From nightclubs to concerts, Billy also put his money into the Queensland Music Festival series called Summerfield Days.
You've gone from the clubs.
Yeah.
You've now got events.
Sold all the clubs.
Sold all the clubs.
Yeah.
You've got events.
Yeah.
You've still got Thunder Down Under in Las Vegas. You've got a few balls in the air at this stage, haven't you?
Yeah, and I'm probably one of my greatest assets is multitasking and loving that. Like I feel like I can do that really, really well. And even my 2 boys today, trying to teach them how to multitask. I think it just comes with success and time, you know.
And now there's another venture, another plank to the Cross business plan.
You know, I got out of the clubs and I was pretty much done with it because I had 2 young boys. I was getting old. I didn't want to be sort of, you know, late nights coming home 4 or 5 in the morning. Yeah. And then the Star basically approached us about doing a restaurant and bar in their new development at the casino called The Darling.
Sitting atop the Star Casino on the Gold Coast is the restaurant and bar called 19.
So this is the lounge.
Wow, well, look at this, John. This is not bad for a boy from Liverpool, right?
It's pretty special.
It's pretty good.
It's now considered to be one of the best hotel restaurants in Queensland.
So the common ingredient here is the entertainment, the hospitality. There's a common thread through all of this.
Yeah.
These are your skills. These are yours and Jackie's skills, aren't they?
Absolutely. And just getting the right crowd here. Like, really, when, you know, years ago you would say the Gold Coast, they say, oh, it's, you know, it's trashy or whatever. The clientele and the quality of patron we get in here is just super high end. And it works well for the Darling, because the Darling's a 6-star product, and we're the piece de resistance on the rooftop.
Billy Cross has come a long way since his days as a dancer.
Okay, chin high for me.
Have there been any regrets? Maybe a couple.
Back in those days, I used to take steroids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Build my body. Like I only took it for a couple of years, and it wasn't like, not that I'm condoning it, you know what I mean, but I did it to get in shape and whatever.
That generation, bodybuilding, all that sort of stuff, it was partly about the stories.
Of course it was.
And it was partly about the look and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that culture has changed.
Yeah, of course it is. I don't think I stress that much, but I carry a lot of it. So I don't know whether that's stress or what it is, but you know, but I'm healthy. I train 5-6 days a week. I eat well. I'm not really a big drinker. So you sort of sit down and you go, I'm bulletproof. You know what I mean? Physically, I'm feeling great.
When Billy had his heart attack, tell me how your priorities changed for you, for the family, for the business.
Yeah, like we've been through our fair share of things that have happened, but when Billy had his heart attack, I guess that was a defining moment that it was a turning point. It was pre-COVID, just pre-COVID as well, so these things went into each other.
It was an October night, 2019, and Billy and Jackie were at home on the Gold Coast.
I'm sitting there talking to Jackie, my wife, and going, I don't feel well. And then I just go and start vomiting in the toilet. And aggressive, like projectile vomiting. She's going, geez, we've got to go to the doctors tomorrow morning, all right? Because I'm thinking I've got indigestion. Woke up Thursday morning, I'm normal, fine. It's all good, okay. I'll say to Jackie, should I go? No, I'm okay. You know what, I've stopped vomiting. Anyway, Thursday night comes, go to sleep, 3 in the morning, it's gone again, vomiting. I'm getting hot flushes, sweaty, and this should have been the telltale of what was going on. I should have then gone straight to the hospital. I felt like someone was choking my neck, because I was vomiting still, but I felt like someone was choking me and crushing my neck. They always say, oh, it's chest pains, but this was a weird thing. This was like, imagine someone got you in a headlock and squeezing your neck.
Less than 12 hours later, Billy was in hospital.
All I remember at that point was the nurse goes, George, and then it was like within 3 minutes, they were rushing me into the cardiac lab, and it was sort of, oh, it's getting a bit weird here now. Okay. So they rushed me down through to the cardiac lab, and I just remember seeing Jackie's face, and they said to her, you go in the other room, and then I've gone in. And I'm gone here.
So you think you're gone?
Or straight away, I heard him say, is the defibrillator all hooked up? So I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? And I was sort of trying to be calm, but at the same time freaking out a bit. And then I've gone to the cardiac lab, and then they put me on the table, and then after that, I was obviously out.
Billy had a heart attack. 3 stents were put into his arteries, 2 of which were next to useless.
My 3 main arteries, 2 were 100% blocked, and 1 was 50% blocked.
But you're a fit bloke. You're bulletproof.
And in your head, you think to yourself, bulletproof. And to be honest with you, the reason why I'm here today talking to you, because one of the arteries was working at 50%, and that was the thing that was keeping me going. For a while there, mentally, it really messed me up.
Yeah, because a confidence thing as much as anything else, isn't it?
And I was this guy that was so confident and so positive, and just everything was, glass half full and just very, very motivated. And I remember coming out of hospital on Tuesday night, and I remember sitting with my kids, and I just couldn't stop crying, because I was thinking to myself, were they going to be sitting there mourning me, having dinner?
And after everything you've built up, the journey from Liverpool that we've been on, everything that we've been through, you get to that point. And that's the point at which you sit there and say, it could have stopped.
Yeah, straight there and then.
It was definitely the time that we decided to, enjoy life more and not to feel guilty. I think sometimes you feel guilty that you're away too long or spending too much time, maybe in Byron or whatever we might be doing. And now it's just like, we're out.
Will a heart attack slow down the creator of Thunder from Down Under? Probably not. But there's one thing you can be sure of. Billy's always got another project in the pipeline.
What is it? Go on, explain what drives that side.
You know what it is? I love entertainment, and I feel like one part of it running this is my give back to the Gold Coast, is creating some amazing events. But can I tell you something? When you're 57 years of age and you do these events, it makes you feel young. It makes you feel like you're doing something exciting. And every show and every concert and every festival is a different day and a different night and a different experience. And I just love it. And my kids are, they're involved in the business and they love it as well. So it could be a legacy I pass down to them. And it's, but it's exciting. This is a business I feel privileged to be a part of.
Right, so are you actually 57 or are you 17 really still, mate? That's the big question.
I think maybe the number's 57. The heart is still 17, But no, it's pretty special here. And as I said, what better backdrop do you get than the Gold Coast,
Just beautiful.